Today we're learning about writing the equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So first off, remember that parallel lines, they never intersect and they have the same slope, okay? So perpendicular lines here, they intersect at exactly 90 degrees, which is a right angle. And their deal is that the lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So let's take a look at what that means. Example 1. What is the slope of the line parallel to the line y equals negative 2x plus 5? What I know is that the parallel lines have the same slopes, and that means that the slope of this given line here is the coefficient in front of the x, so that would be negative 2. And therefore, the slope of the new parallel line would also be negative 2. All right, so try this next one on your own. What is the slope of the line parallel to the line y is equal to negative 2 over 3x minus 1? So filling this one in, you should have paused. All right, so parallel lines have the same slopes, and we see the slope of the original line is negative 2/3, and therefore the slope of the new line would be negative 2/3 as well. All right, what is the slope of the line perpendicular to y is equal to negative 3 over 7x plus 9? So perpendicular lines, if you remember from the vocab, that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. That means that the slope of the given line is 3/7. Opposite reciprocal of the perpendicular line, okay, is reciprocal would be to flip the numerator and the denominator, so 7/3, and opposite, since 3/7 is positive, our slope of the perpendicular line will be negative. So the opposites means the sign, and reciprocals mean to flip the numerator and the denominator. All right, go ahead and try this next one. Pause your video. All right, so perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. The slope of this original line is 6, or if you would like, 6 over 1. This is my bad, we're looking at the perpendiculars. Thank you. Okay. The slope of the perpendicular line, so the opposite reciprocal of 6 would be 1 over 6. The numerator becomes the denominator, the denominator becomes the numerator. The slope was positive, we're going to slap on a negative to make this negative. Okay, so now we're going to write the equation of a parallel or perpendicular line, depending on what they're asking for. So first off, we're going to write the equation of a line that is parallel to the given line, y is equal to negative 2x plus 5, and passes through the point negative 1, 6. So first we tackle the slope. So the slope of the given line is this. The slope of the given line is negative 2x. And what I want to find is the slope of the parallel line. So slope of the parallel lines are the same as the given. So that would be the slope is going to equal negative 2 as well. So I can see that I have the slope of a new line. So the slope of the new line is negative 2, and it passes through the point negative 1, 6. I got that from up here. Okay, I'm given a slope and a point, so I can use point slope formula to write the equation of the line. The point slope formula is y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. We get the x1, y1 from the given point, or the point that the point that the line crosses through. All right, so we're going to start filling this in. I have y minus 6 is equal to negative 2 times x plus 1. So we plugged in the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. The opposite of 6 is negative 6. So I have y minus 6 is equal to, we're going to distribute the slope, negative 2x minus 2. And then to isolate y, we just add 6 to both sides. So we get y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. And that would be the line of the parallel line to my given line. So this is the parallel. This is parallel. Let's see. Parallel to y is equal to negative 2x plus 5 and passes through negative 1 comma 6. Okay. All right. You try the next one. Write the equation of the line that is parallel to negative 2/3 x minus 1 and passes through the point 3 comma 9. The slope of the given line is negative 2/3. All parallel lines to this line are going to have the same slope, so it's also going to be negative 2/3. I have a point, 3 comma 9, and the slope is negative 2/3. So if I have a point and a slope, I can use point slope formula. Okay, point slope is y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. Okay, go ahead and substitute in your x1, y1. Okay, so I have y minus 9 is equal to negative 2/3 times x minus 3. Distribute the slope. So I have y minus 9 is equal to negative 2/3 x, and I'm going to do the fraction on the side. So negative 2/3 times negative 3 over 1. Go ahead and just put over 1 here. I'm going to multiply straight across. So negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. And then 6 divided by 3 is a solid 2. So I'm going to add 2. So negative 2/3 x plus 2. Then to isolate the y, we add the 9 back. So I get 0 here. Y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 11. All right, let's go ahead and do the next two. Write the equation of the line that is parallel to y is equal to 3 over 7x plus 9 and passes through the point 7 comma 3. So quickly we look at the slope of the given line, which is 3/7. Slopes of parallel lines will be equal. So the slope of the new given line will be 3/7. Again, we have a point and a slope that we're using. So we use the point slope formula. Okay, so the slope is 3 over 7, and it passes through the point 7 comma 3. That's our x1, y1. So y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. So I have y minus 3 is equal to 3/7, so times x minus 7. We distribute, get y minus 3 is equal to 3/7 times x, and then 3/7 times 7, I'll do on the side, 3 over 7 times negative 7 over 1. I see that I'm going to cross simplify this time, so I can simplify anything from the numerator and the denominator. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I'm just left with a negative 1 on the top. And then we're going to multiply 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and 1 times 1 is 1. So this is a minus 3 here. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So I get y is equal to 3 over 7x plus 0. Or to make that nicer, we just do y is equal to 3 over 7x. So the slope is 3/7, and our y-intercept is 0. Okay, one more for you to do on your own, and then we're going to move on to perpendicular. All right, so the slope of the given line here is the number in front of x. So 6. Slope of parallel lines are equal, so they will also have a slope of 6. We have a point and a slope, so we're going to use point slope or slope point, however you want to say it. Okay. So the point that the new line goes through is 0, 6, and its slope is 6 because it's parallel. So I use y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So y, x1, y1 minus 6 is equal to, the slope is 6 times x minus 0. I'm going to go ahead and simplify x minus 0. It's just x. So I have y minus 6 is equal to 6x. And then add 6 to both sides. 6x and 6 are not like terms, so they just get written next to each other. So y is equal to 6x plus 6. All right. I can see that the lines are at least going to be parallel because the slope stayed a 6. So, and my original slope was also a 6. So I'm like, oh yeah, those lines are parallel because they have the same slope. All right. Write the equation of the line perpendicular to y is equal to negative 2x plus 5 and passes through the point negative 3, 1. So the slope of the given line is negative 2. And slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals. Recips. Okay, so I'm going to write negative 2 over 1. So instead of being negative, the slope is going to be positive. And then we flip the numerator and the denominator. So 1 over 2 is going to be the slope of the perpendicular line. This little T mark here, upside down T mark, means perpendicular. So the perpendicular slope is 1/2. I know that the slope of the perpendicular line is 1/2, and we're going to pass through the point negative 3, 1. So again, I have a slope and a point, so I can use point slope to write the equation. So y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. Y minus 1, my x1, y1, is equal to 1/2 times x plus 3. The sign switches. We distribute. So I have y minus 1 is equal to 1/2 x plus 1/2 times 3 over 1. Multiply the numerators. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 1 is 2. So plus 3/2. Add 1 to both sides. So I get y is equal to 1/2 x plus, 3/2 plus 1 over 1. That's plus 1. Okay, we need a common denominator. So I'll multiply the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. So I get 3 over 2 plus 2 over 2. Add the numerators. I have 5/2. So my slope is 1/2. My y-intercept is 5/2, or 2.5. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, write the equation of the line perpendicular to y is equal to negative 2 over 3x minus 1. So the slope of the original is negative 2/3. The slope of perpendicular lines would be opposite reciprocal. So the perpendicular slope is, flip the numerator and the denominator. So 3 over 2. The sign was negative, so our new slope will be a positive 3 over 2. I have a point and a slope, so we're going to use point slope form. So the slope of our new line is 3 over 2, and it passes through the point negative 4, 6. That would be our x1, y1. So a point on our line. So y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus the x of the point. Okay, y minus 6 is equal to 3/2 times x. Instead of -4, we do the opposite, so +4. We're going to go ahead and distribute. Y minus 6 is equal to 3/2x, and then let's do the fraction on the side, so 3/2 times 4/1. 4 and 2 divide, a 2 divides out of 4, so that would give me a 2, and a 2 divides out of 2, which is a 1. So I get 3 times 2 is 6/1, or just 6. So I'm going to add 6 here. And then to isolate the y, let's add 6 to both sides to give us y plus 0 is equal to 3/2x plus 12. All right, 2 more. So write the equation of the line that is perpendicular. So again, we know slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals. So we look at the original slope, which is 3/7. That is the only part of that equation that we need to write the equation of our new line. All right, and then slopes of all parallel lines to the given would be reciprocal, so 7/3. And then because our slope of the given line was positive, we need to slap a negative on to our reciprocated slope to make it perpendicular. So opposite signs, reciprocated values. Okay, so we use point slope here because that's the information I have. I have the slope of the new line is negative 7/3, and it passes through the point -3,1, which we're going to call x1, y1. Okay. Now I can use point slope. Y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. So let's substitute in our y1 is 1, so I have -1 is equal to -7/3 times x. Our x1 is -3, so we're going to do +3. We will distribute. Are we getting the hang of this? All right, is -7/3x, and then fraction on the side, so -7/3 times 3/1. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is a 1, and 3 divided by 3 is a 1. So I get -7/1, which is -7, so -7. And then we just add back our 1 here. So y is equal to -7/3 x minus 6. Okay, double checking with myself really quick. I'm like, oh, the slope of the new line here is -7/3. The slope of the original line is 3/7. Oh, those are opposite reciprocals. So I know that I have the slope of my my perpendicular lines correct. All right, last one for you to try on your own, and then we'll go over it. So the equation of the line, we're writing the equation of the line perpendicular to y is equal to 6x minus 1 and passes through the point -4, 0. The given line here has a slope of 6, or 6/1. The slope of all perpendicular lines to 6 would be, instead of positive, it's going to be negative, and then we reciprocate, so the 1 moves to the top, the 6 moves to the bottom. So this is we have a point and a slope, so we're going to use point slope formula to write the equation. I have the slope of the new line is -1/6, and it's going to pass through the point -4, 0. This is my x1 and my y1. So I have y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. Let's start substituting stuff in. So y1 is 0, so you can use a minus or a plus, is equal to -1/6 times x plus 4. It's the opposite sign of the point. Go ahead and distribute. So I have y minus 0 is just y, is equal to negative 1 over 6x, and then we need to multiply negative 1 over 6 times a positive 4 over 1. Okay, if you do not like cross simplifying, actually 4, I can see that I have a 4 and a 6 here, and I know 2 divides out of both of those, so I'm going to do 4 divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, so now I have 1 over 3 times 2 over 1, which is multiply straight across, negative 2 over 3. So we're subtracting 2/3. So negative 4/6 is the same thing as negative 2/3. And since the y is already isolated, I can go ahead and just finish up and write a box. So y is equal to negative 1/6x minus 2/3. So the y-intercept is negative 2/3. The slope is negative 1 over 6. Okay, and that is it for today. Let us know if you have any questions in class.